patterns, and in today's class we are going to see the three patterns with the same quarter we have covered in the part 1 of this pattern video. That is, in this video we are going to cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we are going to cover this pattern. Let me write it in some good way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So first pattern is this. Second pattern is 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. So this is the second pattern. And the third pattern is 1, 1, 3, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 7, right? So this is the third pattern. So if you want to practice by yourself, and if you have understand the concept of pattern very well from the part 1 of this video, you can just pause this video and try to implement this pattern by yourself. If you are unable to trace the pattern, then you can come to this video and see the solution. So now I will start with this third pattern, right? So let me erase the others. I want to print 1, 3, 1, 3, 5 and 1, 3, 5, 7. So you can observe the repetition over here. Suppose I value is 1, 2, 3 and 4. And here jth value will be 1, j equal to 2, j equal to 3 and j equal to 4. Now you have to think a logic that how can you get this 1 over here. So at this stage I thought that it can be value of I or j, right? At this stage I am assured that this is not the value of I because I is 2 now. So it can be value of j. But here at this stage I assume that this 3 I cannot obtain either from I or from j. So I have to think that how I can find this series. Here I am seeing that it is just odd numbers. Now how can I derive these odd numbers? So I can say that if you are doing 2j minus 1, right? If you are doing 2j minus 1, then for j equal to 1, answer will be 1. For j equal to 2, answer will be 3. For j equal to 3, answer will be say 5. So I have successfully discovered the logic over here. I am printing the value of 2j minus 1 instead of I, j or any kind of asterisk or any other symbol. I am just printing value of this 2j minus 1. So if you know the logic of this series, then it will be easy for you to print a pattern like this. So let me go to my IDE. Let me open my IDE first. In my IDE, I will start with include stdio.h, then int main, then here inside this I am writing return 0. I am taking int I and j, right? And I am taking right now I am just writing a loop. I is less than or equal to 3, I plus plus. So it will start with 1 to 3. And then inside this I am taking another loop with j equal to 1, j is less than or equal to 3, j plus plus, right? And here inside of this, in previous programs we were printing value of I and j, but in this program we will be printing printf %d. You can write 2 into j minus 1, right? So I hope this equation is correct. If you want, you can also take another variable c over here. You can write it c equal to you can also write c equal to this equation, right? So it's your choice. I'm directly writing this equation. Let us see that if we are having any error or not. But one thing if you have noticed that here every time I have to go in the next line, yeah, right? So in every time after this every time after this row completes, the value of I is changing, I am going to next line by using slash n. So I have to write the similar slash n logic that we had used in previous programs. So here it will be slash n. Let me save this program, and if we compile the program and run it, it is asking me any error that printf. So it is printf, right? Now let me save the program, compile and run. You can see it is printing 135, 135, 135. Why it is happening? Right, so I have already told you that if you are printing a quadruple or quarter like this, you have to write a logic in which first I is going from 1 to n, but j is going from 1 to I, right? So here you can observe that in this code for each loop I am going till 3 or say n. So here it should be value of I, right? So now if I just compile and run, you can see we are successfully having the pattern, the desired pattern, that is 1, 1, 3, 1, 3, 5. And if I am giving spaces over here, it will look more beautiful. So compile and run, you can see the pattern like this. Now what code it should be added in order to get the value from user? So you can add n over here. Here it will be printf, enter the value of n. So here it will be scanf %d and n, right? So here it will be going till n. Let me just save this program, compile it. What is an issue? Printf. So now if I am running the program with say 5, you can see the pattern over here, right? So we have successfully achieved the pattern. Now what was the second pattern that we want? So the second pattern is kind of this. So I want 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Now every time you can see the repeated code. So here I will check if it is any repeated code or not. So for j equal to 1, 2, 3. Now for j equal to 1, 2, 3, I am just printing zeros and ones. That means every time I am not printing either value of I or j. Now it may happen that if the number of row is even, this number is even, I am printing 1, or if this number is odd, I am printing 1, and if this number is even, I am printing 0. So let me just find that logic. So if you find that if I plus j, that is 1 plus 1, 2. So let me take another. So if I plus j, so for this I plus j is 2. This is even. So for even number I am printing 1. If for this you can see, for this value I plus j is 3. For odd number I am printing 0. Again you can check this. So this is even, so I am printing 1. This is odd, so 1 plus 3 plus 1, that is 4. So it is even, so I am printing 1. 3 plus 2 is equal to odd, so I am printing 0. So I have successfully discovered the logic that if the summation of or if the addition of I and j is even number, then I am printing value 1, otherwise I am printing value 0. And that's why I have told you that please go through the previous videos of decision making statement and control loops very effectively, so that it will be very easy for you to understand this logic. So we have performed so many examples like this. So what change is to be done? So this loop will be same because we want to print a quadruple. So this loop will be same. What will be the change? So here in this loop I am checking if I plus j, I am writing it inside the bracket so that I can eliminate some erroneous code. If modulo 2 equal to, so here if modulo 2 equal to 0, that means the number is even number, addition is even. At that time I'm printing print 1. I'm giving a space. Otherwise, that means if the summation is odd, I'm printing here 0, right? Now the remaining code will be same, and let me just check if the code is correct or not. Here I am giving number of n, so I want number of rows 5. That's why I am giving 5, and you can see I am successfully getting the desired pattern, right? So the heart of this program is the logic. You have to understand the logic for each pattern, then only it will be easy for you to understand. So now last pattern that we want to draw in today's class is like this. So I want to print a pattern like say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now if you carefully observe that this is quadruple, so I know that two loops, how to use two loops. I know the code for two loops for this quadruple. Now I should observe that what exactly the pattern is this. So here I equal to 2, 3 and 4. Here j equal to 1, j equal to 2, j equal to 3, j equal to 4. Now say you are taking one variable count. Initially count is 0. Now every time when you execute the inner loop, that is the jth loop, every time when you execute you are incrementing count. So suppose for this variable you are incrementing count as 1 and print the value of count, so you are printing 1. Then you are going to new line when the value of I change, and you know that when to go new line, right? How to go to the new line. So now this value is there, so you are incrementing this value to 2. Now when this j is executed, you are incrementing this value to 3. Now when this j is executed, you are incrementing this value to this. So by maintaining a count variable, you can get the desired output. So for this quadruple, I know the logic of the loops. What change is to be done is inside this thing only. So what is the change over here? Here I am taking another variable count, which is initially 0. Every time when this jth loop is executing, I am doing count plus plus, that is count equal to count plus 1, and I am printing the value of count. So right now according to this pattern, I am not printing I or j or any other expression. I am printing temporary variable count. Let me save this program, compile it and run it. So you can see here, if I am entering 5, I am having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then for 11, 12, 13, 14, there are 2 digits number. That's why my pattern is not looking very good. So to eliminate this, you can have some more space, or also you can have some tabs. You can use tabs or spaces in order to get better look. So here you can see it is looking better, but not the best. Let me have the tab. So instead of spaces, I can have tab. Let me save this program, compile it and run it with 5. You can see I can get better output, right? So this is how you can write a pattern to print this kind of pattern. Write a code to print this kind of pattern, right? So this is all about today. This is part 2 of the patterns video. Now I want to cover one more pattern. What if I want to print a pattern like this? What if I want to print this kind of pattern? What is the logic over here? I hope this is very easy if you have understand the previous patterns. So for I value of 1 and j value of 1, 2, 3 and 4, you can see that if value of I is odd, I am printing hash, value of I is even, I am printing star. So how can I achieve this logic? So I know that this is the same quadruple that we have performed. So the change will be inside this value, and here I don't need count, so I'm just eliminating that, and here I'm checking if I modulo 2 equal to 0. That means if the even number is there, you have to print star. For even number you have to print star. In else case, if I is odd, you have to print hash. Right. So let me just save the program, compile it and run it. So for 5, you can see we have got the desired pattern. Now let me show you that if this is not I but J, what will be the pattern look like. So here for 5, the pattern will look like this. Now if there is an error in your code, then it may happen that your pattern is going to infinite loop, right? So if you are executing your program and it is going to an infinite loop, that means your program is wrong. You have given some wrong conditions over here, or sometimes people or students used to forget this statement. Because of this statement, if I have not written this statement, you will get, very bad output. Like if for this I am getting this kind of output, right? So you can see, even because of I forgot this line, I am not getting desired output. So make sure that you are writing the right code according to this solution I have given. And if you have any doubt, you can comment below the comment section and ask me. In the next videos, I'm going to show you that how can you create some more patterns, some more pyramids, and see you in the next class. Thank you so much.